The axles have now been mounted on the truck. I had to drill out the holes for larger hardware, wanted something a little bit stronger. Used 1/8 inch drill bit, went right through the aluminum, no problems there. The body had to change a little bit. The axial Trail Ranger body was too long for the truck. Had to go out and pick up a Hummer H2 body. Fits on there perfectly. Going to be trimming this and painting it soon. As far as the truck's concerned, just a little bit more to do with placing the electronics, the battery, and just a little bit of dry run here in the living room. Alright, thanks. Now, most people like to paint a body before they trim it. They like the finish that it gives and everything else. They're worried about overspray. Me, I feel that if you can lay a decent layer of paint with a rattle can, then you should be fine being able to trim the body. Plus, I like being able to know for sure where my body posts are, both front and rear. I like to know the tire clearance I'm getting. Plus, it allows me to see the frame underneath. So, I can get something that looks more realistic. I plan on removing the protective overspray covering here in the bed and on some small detail work to do a flat black on the outer. It's going to be a bright fluorescent blue for the main paint job, possibly some white details just to help it pop. Well, I will get back to you with more when I actually have the body painted and as the chassis itself is nearing completion. Alright. Okay, since the last little bit of video I recorded, the body has been painted and trimmed. The battery plate is now in place. As you can see, there are little smokestacks in the back of the bed. Just used some old grease brushes for like wheel bearing grease or brake grease. Cut them up at an angle, slid them right over the body post. They're just the right diameter. They actually hold pretty securely on there. For the black bed and the front trim pieces, I cut out the clear overspray film and did my layer of black on the outside of the body. It gives it a nice flat black factory accessory appearance. That's pretty much all that I've done as far as the body itself is concerned. No lights or anything like that. Just want a nice stock scale looking body. Underneath, we now have a battery tray. The chassis braces are old Rustler links, I believe. The only problem I found was one side is standard thread, the other side is reverse thread. So finding a reverse thread nut for it's been a little bit of a pain. Other than that, the next step is mounting up all the electronics. I did, however, have to make myself a new set of drive shafts for it. The factory drive shafts were too short, but slash drive shafts were not the right diameter to actually bolt onto the output shafts. They actually hit the cover in the front. So what I did is I took a factory slash drive shaft, and you have to shave off back a little bit so you can actually get right up on the transmission. For the input side, you can actually bore out the inside of the shaft, and then you take your factory input shaft off the losi mini crawler, sand it down a little bit, slide it in, and cement it. Works great. Should give me no problems as far as rock crawling is concerned. It should be mighty strong and work very well for me. Alright, the truck for the most part is finished. The electronics are on, everything is working. Just got a last few button up wires, you know, a couple zip ties here and there. But everything's up and moving. Works great so far from what I've seen just sitting here running it. Sounds pretty cool. Nothing special with the electronics, still stock. But as far as placement goes, I put a clear Lexan plate on this back Y-link, mounted my ESC there. I was looking for a good middle ground for the receiver between the servo and the ESC. I found that the flat spot right on top of the transmission was perfect. It was the same width as some 3M double-sided tape. Stuck it right there, should be good and secure. It's off the motor, it's touching plastic, so I'm not worried about it overheating. Battery mounted across, up on the front half, just to give it a little bit of extra, you know, front balance. And in a few minutes, I will probably step out front and run it in the dark for a few. Alright, let's get this body on there. Let's see what we're dealing with. My smokestacks, which, as you can see, will just slide on right there, and then the holes in the body are reamed big enough that they actually sit down inside, giving it that extra little bit of realism and, you know, final touch. Like I said, they're pretty snug once they're on there. Alright, everybody, well, send me your thoughts, let me know what you think, and the next video will actually be trail running videos. Thank you.